Rocky got into a car accident on his way to celebrate his little sweetheart's birthday. He became a vegetable, but I can see his soul drifting beside me. He just watches me. He watches me go through his diary, his photo albums, his phone. The people in them are not me. When I received the news about Rocky's accident, my heart trembled violently. Today is a very special day. In addition to being his little sweetheart Serena's birthday, it's also my birthday. But he said that since both he and Serena are orphans, unlike me with loving parents, I should just endure and celebrate Serena's birthday. For the past 4 years, I have celebrated with them. He and a group of brothers surround Serena, putting the only birthday hat on her head. Serena holds the largest piece of cake, smiling in everyone's pictures. I just stand by, watching Rocky take pictures of her. I am dissatisfied, but he always reassures me, saying that next year, I will be the center of attention. Yet every year, I am the person on the edge. Whenever Serena shows the slightest hint of sadness, he immediately takes his brothers to comfort her. If Rocky didn't always lower himself after her birthday to take me to my favorite restaurant and celebrate my birthday separately with moments and different surprises, I would have given up long ago. But I also reminded him of my principle: 3 strikes and you're out. For the 4th year's birthday, I wanted it to be just the 2 of us. Otherwise, no matter how much I love him, I would have no hesitation in leaving him. At that time, he promised me wholeheartedly, but when the day really came, he still refused. He said, "Serena is different from you. You know, she grew up alone and is very sensitive. If I don't go, she'll think I'm rejecting her. Her depression might get worse." I laughed in anger. "So I don't even have the right to celebrate my birthday with my boyfriend?" I called a group of friends in front of him, telling him I wasn't alone. But he accused me of being unreasonable and stormed out, without even taking his phone. Watching him leave, what I felt was not sadness, but a sense of relief and calm. That day, I didn't shed a single tear. At that moment, I made up my mind to break up. As I packed my things to move out, I suddenly received a call from a doctor friend. Rocky had a car accident. His car's brakes failed and crashed into the moat. Rocky had no family, and I didn't even know who to notify for him. I was in a daze until the abrupt sound of the doorbell snapped me back to reality. Ding dong. Just as I decided to tell his good sister Serena about the news so she could handle Rocky's affairs, I suddenly heard a sound from his phone left on the table. I reached out to grab it as if compelled by some force. Suddenly, a voice appeared above me. "Don't look, don't look. Rocky?" I looked up in shock and was startled by the image that suddenly appeared before my eyes. A translucent boy was floating above me, anxiously staring at my phone. It was Rocky. But wasn't he a vegetable from the accident? How did he turn into a ghost? My whole body stiffened. This was my first encounter with a ghost. Had I developed an illusion from heartbreak? But the next moment, I heard his voice again. "I wonder if Serena is anxious. She's probably overthinking again. Ugh. If Haley had a bit more sense, she could help me hide this. Forget it. I can't ask for too much, after all. She has never learned to understand someone with depression." His tone of complaint grew heavier. I could even feel the surrounding air growing colder. Even now, he still thinks about Serena. Fine, if he doesn't want me to see, then I'll just have to see what he's hiding. Damn, why is it still open? Well, probably going to get jealous again, really. Even in death, he doesn't let me escape. I ignored his muttering and struggled with the password in front of me. He liked to use dates as passwords. So I paused slightly and tried several dates that were important to him. His birthday, not it. The day he was abandoned, not it. My birthday, or Serena's birthday, not it. Just as I was feeling helpless, he spoke again. Almost forgot. I didn't tell her my password. The password. It's nostalgic. It's the day I first met Serena. She was a little girl being bullied by several people. TSK, luckily I was there. It's a pity. I wonder if she can take care of herself now that I'm gone. Every word he spoke reduced my affection for him. His memories were all about her. Then why did he agree to my confession back then? I took a deep breath, flexed my stiff wrists, and got up to walk towards our bedroom. I remember he had a diary that he never let me see. I thought he was very concerned about privacy, and I respected that, so I never crossed the line. But now, I suddenly felt things might not be as they seemed. What is she doing again? This box, that's my diary. Damn it, didn't I say I don't like others touching my things? The temperature around me suddenly dropped, and it kept dropping, getting colder and colder. I glanced at the thermometer on the wall. It still read 26 degrees. The temperature dropped rapidly. At one point, I even thought I was going to freeze into an ice sculpture. No, I have to do something. At least I can't freeze to death in his hands. Ugh. Why is it so cold? I said this with a shivering voice and desperately squeezed out a few tears. Do I have to go with Rocky? Will I finally be able to see Rocky? God knows how disgusted I felt saying that, but I guessed right. The temperature stopped falling. Haley. His tone carried a hint of disbelief, as if he couldn't believe I said that, but that wasn't enough. I can't die yet. Rocky said Serena has depression. If she knew Rocky had the accident while celebrating her birthday, she would definitely not be able to handle it. But Rocky never let me add his brothers. And I don't have her contact information, so I have to use Rocky's phone. He always treasured this diary, maybe the password is written in it. The temperature around me began to warm up. I pretended to wipe my tears and stole a glance at him floating above. He still maintained his anxious expression, his lips moving a few times but not saying anything. Only, there was more guilt in his brows. And at this moment, I picked up his diary. At the same time, a sigh came from above, and he didn't stop me. A thick diary, he filled out more than half. I flipped through it briefly. From the first page to the last, almost every page had Serena's name. Serena won awards, was bullied, or looked at some boy. From their days in the orphanage to the time spent with me, I also saw my name. A few lines. The girl who looks a bit like Serena. I think her name is Haley. She's a bit annoying and clumsy. Can't even handle a part-time job well. Most importantly, she says she likes me, but if she likes me, why does she talk to other guys? Forget it, only Serena will never leave me. That's what he wrote. I glanced at that day and vaguely remembered it. The other guys he mentioned was the shop manager where we worked part-time. At that time, I was drawn to his talent and being lovesick. Followed him to the shop and became his part-time colleague, just to be closer to him. And that day, Serena went to the hospital for a checkup, which made Rocky restless all day. After his 36th sigh, he accidentally broke 3 plates. I saw him shudder and immediately understood. He was short on money. He couldn't afford to have his wages deducted. So I hurriedly put down what I was holding and went over, pretending that I had broken the plates. Perhaps my acting was too convincing, or maybe he didn't think he would make such a mistake. He didn't suspect a thing. He frowned, helping me clean up the mess, while instructing me. How could you be so careless? What if you hurt yourself? I'll handle this. You go check the stove. Girls with delicate skin can easily get cut by the shards. I was truly mesmerized. However, the shop manager was standing not far behind us. He saw the entire process. So I had to use a lot of effort to convince the shop manager to deduct the amount from my salary and reassure him that my work performance was definitely okay. After all, it was the highest paying shop near the school. But, was I really so pathetic in his eyes back then? Though I really wanted to go back and slap myself, it was better to finish the act now. I wanted to see if this pathetic version of me would leave a lasting impression on him. So I murmured. I was being overly sentimental. I could feel the unease in the air. Rocky, are you feeling guilty? We've been together for so long. You should know how good I've been to you. But I could never change you. I understand the difference between a Serena and Haley. I continued speaking. Looking at this diary, I recounted that day's events to the Rocky floating in the sky. From that incident to all the little things after we got together. I didn't care about Serena by his side, his lack of understanding, or his indifferent nature. I was solely focused on pursuing him. Not for any other reason, just for the fact that he once spoke up for me. The dark and chubby me on the podium, or rather, spoke up for all the bullied people. I liked a line in his speech. Maybe you're not good looking, not smart enough, not wealthy. Don't be self-deprecating. You might just not realize your unique beauty. That's not a flaw. If someone uses this to attack you, that is the real irreparable flaw. He was really admirable in his youthful vigor, but youth will eventually grow up. He became a scumbag who deceives love. A few monosyllables came from above, followed by a sigh. I'm sorry, it turns out you've suffered so much. But I just don't know how to love. Actually, I've already decided to marry you. Decided to marry me? But I'm tired. How did I, blinded by love, never realize that he was such an escapist? The plates were the same, this time was 2. If he had just thought about it carefully, he would have known that I couldn't possibly have broken the plates from that spot and would have seen that the diary's pages were filled with his love for Serena. I closed my eyes. Rocky, it's time to end. His password was indeed in the diary. After hastily noting it down, I didn't want to look at this nauseating diary any longer and put it back. but Rocky in the sky was unhappy. Haley, why aren't you looking anymore? You've really misunderstood me. Before, my world was all about Serena, so the diary was all about her. But after that, he probably wanted to say that everything after that was related to me, but those few pages really lacked persuasiveness. So even he couldn't bring himself to say it. On the table, his phone was buzzing loudly for a long time. I unlocked his phone, opened Facebook, and his pinned chat was almost at 99+. Little brat, where are you? Why aren't you responding? Could it be you're secretly preparing a surprise for me? Actually, I really don't need any gifts. Just seeing you makes me happy. About 10 minutes later, is your girlfriend not letting you out again? That's not like you. Today is my birthday. Forget it, I understand. You can comfort her. I still have Peter and the others. Another 20 minutes. I'm not used to being without you. This is the first birthday without you. After a while, Serena began to flood the screen with messages. I think I drank too much, and Peter and the others did too. Can you come pick me up? Oh, right, I forgot. Your girlfriend might be jealous. It's okay, I'll just walk back like before, even if it's 20 years back. Don't worry. Will you regret missing my birthday? What a bitch. I gripped the phone tightly. Anyone who didn't know would think they were a couple. Rocky also realized it. It's not what you think. Serena is just too insecure, too dependent on me. For years, I've been taking care of everything for her, so she'll inevitably be uncomfortable without me. Wait, she's drunk? No, you should go pick her up at XX bar. She's afraid of the dark because she was followed. She can't be alone. Damn it, I forgot you can't hear. There's progress. He's putting me first now, but this has to be disregarded due to his extremely fast explanation speed. I pretended not to hear or see, and reported to Serena in Rocky's tone. Just went along with what she said. Said Rocky would be with me, so he couldn't be there for her birthday this time. Indeed, he wasted 4 years of my true feelings, so a little revenge was only fair. I want him to see Serena clearly and live with guilt towards me for the rest of his life. He wasted 4 years of my sincere feelings, so naturally, I had to get a bit of revenge. I want him to see Serena clearly and live with guilt towards me for the rest of his life. Don't say that. She's already upset about this. Aren't you just making it worse? What if she? As I expected, Rocky got anxious immediately. Serena also replied to my message instantly. 6 dots. I don't know what she meant, but I knew Rocky was even more anxious. It's over. She must have misunderstood. On such an important day, not only am I absent, but I also treated her this way. She'll feel abandoned. Damn, I'm really awful. I shouldn't have gotten into this damn relationship. I took a deep breath, planning to turn off the phone screen. However, my hand shook and accidentally hit the page for posting pictures on Facebook. Rocky's photo album was exposed to me, filled with various photos of Serena, even sleeping poses. These were things I had never seen before. It turns out that the once confident and wise high-altitude flower had already been tainted by vulgarity. Haley, are you sick? That was Rocky's first reaction. Even though I hadn't said a word, he had already condemned me. He felt no guilt for his overstepping behavior, but thought I was invading his privacy. Unaware that over the past 4 years, I had never touched his phone. I grew up with Serena. We're just ordinary siblings without blood relations. I really misjudged. I ended up with a girlfriend with such dirty thoughts. He floated above me, rambling on. More than he had said to me in a week. I felt deeply bored and had no interest in continuing to look. After all, judging by his reaction, the rest would likely be similar. I resisted the urge to argue with him and continued to pretend not to hear or see, but I didn't expect that in the places I couldn't see, he could be so disgusting. Only children without siblings can't understand this feeling. Serena is so pure-minded. She might not even know what love means, let alone have any thoughts about me. Haley too. All those women before were the same, thinking like that about her. I can't stand it. Serena is self-reliant and strong. Such people are not worth comparing to her. Having parents is also pointless. Joking about someone's parents is the most despicable behavior in my eyes. And I ended up liking such a person for 4 years. It's really frustrating. I glanced at the string of messages Serena sent earlier. Typical green tea talk. Seeking sympathy, depression, self-reliance. I can't assert that all of it is fake, but 80% of what she sent Rocky was definitely meticulously crafted. She knows exactly how to manipulate Rocky. What was just a vague plan now became clearer. Since Rocky sees his little green plum as a pure little white flower, what if he sees her showing a different face when dealing with me? Wouldn't that be interesting? This dark thought suddenly surged within me, giving me a huge shock. But then I thought, if I can see ghosts in broad daylight, what is there that I cannot accept? Moreover, if Serena has a clear conscience, then I am willing to lose. For a hopeless romantic like me to end up in defeat, isn't that the most normal outcome? But there is one thing I don't understand. Since they like each other, why don't they just be together? Why does Rocky still want to be with me? I really don't get it. But I don't have time to ponder that now. Just now, my doctor friend called again, urging me to go to the hospital to sign papers and prepare for the surgery and other arrangements. After a quick tidy-up, I went to the hospital. On the way, I discovered something interesting, that Rocky cannot stay too far away from me. Whenever he is more than 10 meters away, he will instantly teleport back to my side. And besides me, no one else can see him. So that's why, despite his deep feelings for Serena, he starts clinging to me once he becomes a ghost. It turns out he's forced into this. Thinking like this, I'm like a malicious supporting character hindering the main leads from getting together. The malicious supporting character is about to test the relationship between the leads. After understanding Rocky's feelings, I felt more relaxed. I'm no longer regretful for having been with that once radiant youth I chased after. If the scumbag's actions cause me heartache, then it's just my own problem. As for whether the scumbag will feel sad, it depends on whether his relationship with Serena is truly as pure as he claims. After dealing with the complex hospital paperwork and matters, 2 hours had already passed. During this time, Rocky kept nagging me to hurry and pick up Serena, making me quite annoyed. So I deliberately made my efforts for him appear even more pitiful. He eventually fell silent. I rubbed my sore back, paused for a moment, and entered his hospital room. He was wrapped in bandages, lying still on the bed. A once healthy person now lay there lifelessly. Rocky saw his own body. He hovered in the air, looking in disbelief, then started desperately trying to re-enter his body. Wake up. As long as I wake up, everything will be fine. But it was no use. Whenever he got close, his body would push him far away. Rocky, you will get better. I took a deep breath, sat by his side, and gently stroked his face. I've already taken a leave for you and specially asked them not to disclose your condition. Get well soon. Serena is still waiting for you. Although I also want to say I'm waiting for you, but I actually understand you probably never really liked me. So, I'll give you some good news. I've figured it out. When you wake up, I'll leave. But you're so kind. Will you notice something is wrong? In that case, I'll just have to find an excuse. I said this with disgust even for myself. I tried hard to convince myself not to throw up. Rocky's spirit gave up trying and hovered nearby, listening to me. He should be reminiscing, with a face full of complexity. Then I heard him mumbling something and then slapping himself. But that's not enough. What do you think about me cheating? I'll be with another boy and then heavily belittle and humiliate you. Since you've never seen me as a good person, you'll definitely believe it. This way, you won't have any lingering feelings for me, right? I forced a carefully designed bitter smile. Don't. He took the bait. I slightly turned to pretend to wipe my tears, just in time to see Rocky's angry and pained expression. I had never seen him show me this kind of sympathy when he was alive. You're my woman. How can you be with another man? Haley, I like you. Did you hear me? You're not a bad person. Those things you saw are just. He struggled to find the right words. Just the result of my youthful ignorance. I also just lack a sense of security, but you've always been someone I can't give up. So, I absolutely can't allow you to do this. When I wake up, I will explain everything to you. I covered my face, bent over in front of the bed, my shoulders trembling violently. But in fact, I was laughing. How laughable love is. Just a moment ago, Rocky was indignant for Serena, but now he says he loves me. Can love split a person's heart between two people? Forget it. Since love is so changeable and unfaithful. What am I still doing here? But Rocky panicked. Damn, I really am a bastard. Fortunately, you didn't hear what I just said. Don't cry, Haley. I can't hold you. Hold me. In the past, I always craved his embrace. The faint scent of laundry detergent made me feel very secure, but he had said he didn't like hugs because they were too hot, so I was extremely restrained. But his diary, his album, were filled with all sorts of sibling embraces with Serena. What dislike? Isn't it just that he doesn't love enough? Thinking of this, I lifted my head and continued. By the way, I can also have Serena catch you in the act, so she can naturally comfort you and help you get together. Am I smart? I heard him curse again. Why do you keep focusing on Serena? It's not just me who has feelings for her. She definitely doesn't have those feelings for me. Forget it. In the past, I was afraid you'd hurt her, so I never let you two interact. But, Haley, you're really reliable. I recognize you. Once I wake up, I'll introduce you to her. Then you'll see, she's been depressed for years. And for matters between men and women, She's just a blank slate. She doesn't even know what love is. As soon as he finished speaking, I heard his Facebook notification go off again. 2-3 Serena send a photo. Drunken men lying on the KTV sofa. Peter and the others said they'd take me home after drinking. But now they're all passed out. It's so late. What are you doing? You must be having a great time. Just these 2 lines, leaving it at that. How fortuitous. Rocky visibly hesitated. As his understanding girlfriend, I naturally had to help. Don't move, I'm coming to pick you up now. I typed these words in front of Rocky. Rocky seemed surprised by my action and once again stood still. His expression was indescribable, as if he was meeting me for the first time. Putting down my phone, I patted his face again. Rocky, I'm going to pick up Serena now. By the way, I've arranged for a nurse to take care of you tonight. I need to act quickly. I'll test her attitude for you. If she truly loves you, then I can trust her to take care of you. After finishing these tasks, I'll take care of you for a final period of time. After taking care of him, I'll run away. Regret will always twist into love in your heart. In the taxi, the spirit of Rocky no longer floats, but adjusts to sit next to me, carefully wrapping his arms around me. I force myself to ignore the discomfort and take out my phone to open Facebook. Sending a message to a junior, Peter. Hey, Zhao, I need a favor. Rocky, seeing me chatting, leans over with displeasure to look. Who's this guy? Why didn't you tell me about him before? Stop chatting. Didn't you say you didn't care? Double standards indeed. Zhao quickly replies, so I tell him about pretending to be a couple and promise to introduce him to a girl afterward. But strangely, the kid seems to know Rocky is around, sending a vague message. No need, sis, I'd be happy just to have a meal with you. By the way, I'll foot the bill. Honestly, apart from working on an experiment together, I've never spoken to him otherwise. The atmosphere turns cold again. Who's he? You haven't been in touch with him before, right? Delete it quickly. Rocky speaks through gritted teeth. His possessiveness seems to break the air, making the driver glance back. I feel an inexplicable thrill. I don't delete it. Instead, I chat with Zhao in an ambiguous partnered tone, flooding the screen. Peter, the energetic junior, is full of warmth and concern, reflecting on Rocky and Serena's conversation. I have a dark sense of humor and use Serena's rhetoric with Zhao. You're quite a charmer. I wish my boyfriend could speak like that. Unfortunately, he's always busy and never compliments me. Maybe I'm just not good enough. Rocky, predictably, gets more agitated. Haley, can you really say that to another guy? I can see what he's thinking. You're giving him opportunities. Delete it right now. Oh, so you're aware. He lunges to snatch my phone, but his hand passes right through. In the end, he can only bitterly comfort himself. Forget it. I'll delete this guy when I wake up. Haley wouldn't be serious anyway. As long as I'm good to her, she won't leave. She's always been like that, never wanting to leave no matter how I treat her. His voice weakens. Then, there's another silent pause. See, Rocky only remembers my good qualities when he's about to lose me. Otherwise, I'm just a troublemaking woman. At KTV. I check the address on my phone repeatedly and confirm Serena's room number. Relax. I rub my temples and finally decide to knock. Knock, knock. Little brat, have you arrived? A female voice comes closer. Though it sounds a bit muffled through the door, it still retains its sweet, watery tone. The door opens. The girl, with a meticulously done-up face, freezes her smile upon seeing me. Ha! Haley. She hesitates to call my name, her eyes darting behind me. Rocky had some work, so he went off. I thought it wasn't safe for a girl like you, so I came to take you home. I smile politely. Ding dong. Facebook notification. I reply to Junior Peter's message in front of Serena. When I look up again, she now has a bag and looks at me with a smile. Well, Haley, let's go. What about those people lying on the sofa? You mean Peter and the others? I've already informed their girlfriends. Someone will come to pick them up later. They're all friends, so they're fine. Her voice is soft and gentle, without any aggression. I pretend not to catch the implication, and we flag a cab. Before getting in, she plays with her phone. Where to? I ask. Just stop near Galaxy apartment. Her voice is quieter than at first, but the driver still can't hear clearly. The task of communication falls to me, but the spirit of Rocky raises a question. Is Serena's throat not feeling well? Her voice seemed better before. Could she be catching a cold? No, it's because she had a sandal stuck in her throat before. Wait, why is she going to Galaxy apartment? I remember she doesn't live around there. Galaxy apartment, Galaxy apartment. Oh no. I remember now. That's a half-finished building. Next to it is a lake where people drown all the time. Could her depression be acting up again, and she's planning to commit suicide? Rocky's voice grows louder. If I hadn't seen Serena in the eeriest part of Galaxy apartment earlier, I might believe it. Driver, go to Phoenix apartment. I tell the increasingly impatient driver the final destination. Rocky and Serena look at me simultaneously, their expressions oddly matching in confusion. It's too late. Galaxy apartment isn't safe. A hint of annoyance flashes in Serena's eyes. Oh, really? Thanks, Haley, but there's no but. You're staying with us tonight. Otherwise, Rocky won't be at ease. She wanted to refuse, but I effectively shut her down with my statement. Rocky also breathes a sigh of relief. I don't listen to what she says next, picking up my phone to continue chatting with Junior Peter. On the road, Serena keeps glancing at my phone. Buzz, buzz. Rocky's phone in my pocket vibrates twice. I don't even need to look to know it's from Serena, and I can guess what it's about. She's baited. Perhaps Rocky senses my feelings too, as he notices Serena's actions. I sneak a look at him. He doesn't seem as satisfied as I imagined. Instead, he appears somewhat displeased with Serena's behavior, his brows furrowed tightly. But he's silent now, and I can't figure out what he's thinking. After about half an hour, I finally bring Serena to my home. This apartment is one Rocky and I chose together, convenient for both work and school. Sorry for the intrusion. Before entering, Serena thanks me softly, but her gaze remains fixed on the door. I open the door, and the interior is completely dark. Her disappointment is visibly palpable. Of course, once inside, she doesn't stay idle. Wow, your decor style is my favorite European style. Oh, Haley, do you also like to place small hanging plants in the kitchen? Even though I was prepared, my heart still ached. Rocky took care of the decoration work, and I was happy to live in a place he liked, feeling secure surrounded by his world. But even this little haven is a lie. I have been intruding on his and Serena's little nest. Strange. Before I could feel too sad, Rocky spoke again. I've brought her here before and told her that I did the decoration. What's she implying with this? No, I must have been influenced by Haley. Maybe Serena just genuinely likes this style. Serena, unaware that her innocent image is cracking, continues to happily explore, taking photos with her phone, completely at ease. After she has explored almost every corner, I lead her to the living room to sit. Happy birthday. I take 2 cans of cola from the fridge and place them on the table, raising 1 can to her. Thanks, Haley. She accepts my cola, but doesn't clink glasses with me. I retract my arm and drink from the cola, soothing my dry throat. Putting the cola down, I reply to another message. Since it's your birthday, Haley, let's put away the phone for now. Serena's voice drifts lightly into my ears. Seeing me look over, she smiles and waves her phone, then places it on the table. Since we rarely get this chance, why not chat with me? I've actually liked you for a while, but little brat kept worrying you'd bully me. Oh, I speak bluntly. Hope you don't mind. Noting her continued interest in my phone, I place mine next to hers. Not at all. Her gaze shifts from my phone back to me. She suddenly smiles. Actually, today is also your birthday, isn't it? What? This exclamation came from Rocky. He's stunned again. How would she know? I was worried she'd think I brought Haley here to share her birthday, so I never told her. No wonder his friends don't care about my presence. He never mentioned me. Curious? Serena challenges me with her gaze. Since I put my phone on the table, she has changed. Her voice is no longer soft, and she doesn't exude a downcast vibe. Every time, little brat gives me my favorite cake, the one with happy birthday written on it. He says, eating a cake with happy birthday written on it on the actual birthday will ensure happiness forever. But before you showed up, that cake was mine. Serena enunciates each word clearly. Isn't it nice to get something that was taken? Impressive. What taken thing? I feign surprise, unable to speak clearly. Do you like Rocky? But how can you? If you like him, why not get together with him earlier? Ha! Serena sneers. Haley, even though you're older than me, I really want to take this chance to teach you a lesson. I do like little brat. After all, he's good to me and handsome. But liking doesn't mean being together. Even if he's good to me, we come from the same background, poor and powerless. It's not worth it to be together. People really can't speak when they are in extreme shock. Rocky's eyes are fixed on Serena, glaring. So cold. Why freeze me and not her? But Serena seems unaffected, speaking more excitedly. You know, Haley, do you know why he's with you? Because you look like me. I'm the unattainable Serena in his heart, so he settles for second best. Now Serena's light has turned into a black moonlight. Initially, he treated me well, and I didn't mind. But gradually, he started refusing my requests because of you. Serena says that later Rocky stopped running out in the middle of the night to bring her brown sugar water, just because I was also having stomach pain, but I clearly remember, he still went out that day. Soon, Serena gives me the answer. I had no choice but to make myself look more pitiful. Who knew he thought I had been depressed all along? But it's fine, his love has returned. So, Haley, do you understand? The cold makes me shiver all over. But she thinks I'm losing my composure because of her words. Understand? Are you telling me this to make me break up with him? But why not say it from the start? We've been together for 4 years. Haley, you're too naive. If you don't let men see how troublesome other women can be, how can my good traits stand out? But now, you've become a threat to me, so I'm giving you the right to know the truth. Serena says this slowly, her eyes full of determination. It's surprising Rocky trusted you so much, but you're actually like this. I'll tell Rocky. I tighten my clothes and continue to lead her. Go ahead and tell him. But do you think he'll believe you or me? And you're really such a naive girl, having no defenses against the opposite sex around your boyfriend. If I were you, I'd install surveillance in the room, or at least use a recording app. Even if that girl has no ill intentions, you can make her have some, right? So she wasn't taking photos when she came in. She was testing for hidden cameras in the room. She made me put down my phone just to prevent me from recording. Besides, Serena suddenly grabs my phone and taps the screen. The message, "Love you," from Junior Peter brightly displays on the screen. Haley, you're not such a good person either. She holds up her phone and takes pictures of it. Don't. It's not what you think. I desperately try to grab it. I've said, the truth doesn't matter. Serena lightly pushes me and I fall into the chair. This is not an act. Rocky's face is dark to the extreme, and my blood feels like it's about to freeze. I groan in discomfort. Rocky finally seems to awaken, starting to warm up the temperature. When I finally feel a bit better, I see Serena holding up her phone. She has posted on the forum of our and Rocky's alma mater at lightning speed. She mocked me for being with Rocky, their old idol, and even trying to harm her late at night. These posts were probably prepared when she was in the taxi. Now, she has just added a crucial photo. She also says she will post the recording later. Seeing my confusion, she taps her recorder, and my voice immediately plays back. Galaxy apartment, tonight, not safe, rest assured, and other keywords. She has spliced together the words I said. I am doomed. Well, it's getting late, so I won't bother you any longer. Haley, if you want to blame someone, blame him for loving you. After that night, I was bombarded with insults. Even Junior Peter's Facebook account was dug up. Everyone was advising him to run away. When Peter asked me what to do, I told him to clear his name, as this matter had nothing to do with him. But Peter was quite decent, defending me with reason. As for Rocky, for the past week, I've been taking care of him every day. I've expressed my pain and love to him. I told him I only wanted his happiness, even if I had to leave, and that he needed to see Serena's true face. But he hasn't said a single word. He only occasionally touches my face tenderly, his gaze distant and harsh. Does it hurt? It should. After being a stand-in for 4 years, even a lovesick fool like me feels this pain. I deserve it, and so does he. The doctor said the accident wasn't severe, and his bodily functions are fine. By all rights, he shouldn't be in a vegetative state. Yet, he still hasn't woken up. Rocky, what are you waiting for? News spreads quickly, and investigations follow swiftly. The news of Rocky's accident and hospitalization was soon uncovered. I became the target of everyone's scorn. Having an affair while your boyfriend is in a coma, you must be a terrible woman. Serena hadn't expected Rocky to be in an accident, but it's actually advantageous for her. On another Sunday, she walked into Rocky's hospital room, made up to look exhausted and dressed in white. Little brat. She ignored me, her voice sincere, ignoring the phone she was holding. Upon seeing her, Rocky's eyes locked onto her immediately. After all, Serena had known about the accident, but had never visited him. Why did this happen? I shouldn't have let you celebrate my birthday. It's all my fault. Wake up, and I'll never celebrate my birthday again. She cried with genuine emotion. Yet, there was no longer any of the past tenderness in Rocky's eyes. Serena, what are you doing here? I pushed her to the ground. She let out a soft cry. Haley, I know you're angry with me, but how could you keep me from seeing him all these years? I didn't even know he was hospitalized until I heard from a friend. Take pictures. The more viciously I'm portrayed, the worse she'll fall when the truth comes out. Cling, cling. As she cried, messages poured into my phone one after another. I then realized she was live streaming. Gold digger deserves to die. Who's bullying this girl? I wish the one in the hospital bed was you. Are you that desperate for men? I can believe that if the hospital allowed so many people in, these terrifying netizens would rush in and beat me up. After crying for a while and gaining enough attention, Serena finally remembered me. Haley, I'm sorry. I've disturbed you. You don't like me, so I'll leave. Please don't hurt the little brat anymore. He's already been through so much. I took a step forward. Serena immediately jumped up like a frightened rabbit, retreating a few steps in fear. I'm leaving. I'll leave right now, as long as you don't hurt him. She said this while exiting the room. A perfect exit. But my phone was ringing off the hook. Serena, I truly misjudged you. Haley, I'm sorry for everything in the past, but rest assured, I won't let you suffer anymore. I saw Rocky's indifferent gaze on Serena as she left, murmuring to himself. Then, he once again tried to return to his own body. Doctor, doctor, his hand moved. I shouted excitedly. Hearing my call, the doctor entered the room. Though he looked at me with disdain, I didn't care. Thanks to Serena, Rocky could be awakened. Cough, cough, water. Rocky's long lashes fluttered, and he finally opened his eyes. Rocky is awake. I remember the evening 3 weeks ago. His attitude towards me was filled with indifference and impatience. But now, he smiles at me tenderly. His eyes are full of unspoken pain and affection, just like when I first met him. As the doctor said, his bodily functions are fine. Not long after waking, he could almost walk on his own. Haley, it's so good to have you. His voice was filled with relief and joy, unaware that I knew everything. Why? Why are you suddenly calling me that? I could only pretend not to know. Love. Haley, don't leave me, okay? I love you. He gently embraced me, but I felt no joy, only a sense of helplessness and disgust at being chosen as a plan B. Buzz, buzz. Suddenly, Junior Peter sent me a message. Haley, check the forum. Someone has edited your photo into a memorial portrait. But it's okay, I've given them a good scolding. Before I could read further, Rocky snatched the phone from my hand. Who is he? My Junior Peter. I don't like him. Haley, let's delete him, okay? Rocky unusually pouted at me. If it were the old me, I would have happily agreed to his request. But now, I just took the phone back and replied casually. He's just a Junior Peter. He's helped me a lot. Rocky wouldn't be that petty, right? I saw surprise and grievance flash in his eyes. Indeed, everyone knows. Haley never refuses Rocky. Rocky, shouldn't you ask why someone edited my photo into a memorial portrait? Forget it. Even if I told you, you wouldn't believe it. I freed myself from his embrace. I believe. But he urgently pulled me back into his arms, even pressing against his wound. Haley, no matter what you say, I believe you. Whatever you want to do, whatever you want me to do, I'll follow. As long as you don't leave me. Really? What if I say it's because of Serena? What's she to me? Rocky blurted out. Seeing my puzzled expression, he added, actually, I know you've been wronged. Even though I was unconscious, I could hear the sounds in the room. Though I don't know exactly what happened, our Haley is definitely not that kind of person. Don't worry, I'll investigate and clear your name. Rocky's excuse was so meticulously crafted. If I hadn't seen his soul, this love-struck fool would have drowned in this gentleness. But now, I'm unmoved. I merely pretended to be touched, leaning in his embrace. How laughable. We both know the truth, yet we continue to deceive each other. After Rocky completed the discharge procedures, he called Serena to his home. As soon as Serena entered, she threw herself into his arms. He stepped aside. Serena was a bit startled but continued her act. Rocky, you're finally out of the hospital. I've been so worried about you. I've been taking care of you all these days. And there's something I don't know if I should tell you. While saying this, her eyes kept glancing towards me. Is this what you wanted to say? Rocky placed her post in front of her. Oh, so you saw it. She looked at me in fear, worried I might tear her apart. I'm sorry, Haley. Even though you're quite nice, I can't stand to see you deceive Rocky. Is that so? Rocky sneered. Serena, are you being so nice to me because you like me? Serena let out a soft sigh, shyly lowering her head, her face turning red. She neither confirmed nor denied. But what do you like about me? Little guy, you're so outstanding. It's natural for me to admire you. Besides, thanks to you taking care of me, my depression isn't as severe. So, I take care of you, and this is how you take care of my girlfriend? Well, I'm poor and powerless, so it's only natural for you to control me. Serena was stunned. Rocky had never spoken to her like this before. Not that, do you know? Her so-called infidelity was an act done for me. She panicked. Did Haley say something to you? It's not like that. I didn't. Rocky's tone was very light. I advise you to delete the post yourself and clarify, otherwise, I won't let you off. Little brat, you. I got it. You think I'm redundant now that you have Haley, right? Well, I understand. I'll disappear from your world. You must be happy. Serena covered her chest, looking on the verge of tears. She put on a brave face, stepping backward towards the door step by step. Suicidal? Depressed? Serena, don't you really think I'm a fool? Stop pretending. Although we don't have cameras at home, we do have listening devices. I heard your conversation that day. Rocky stared at her increasingly pale face, speaking each word slowly and deliberately. Serena, you're truly disgusting. It was satisfying. Watching this pair of scoundrels argue was genuinely gratifying. Rocky's excuse was flimsy. Who installs listening devices out of boredom? But Serena believed it. They were indeed a perfect match. Serena collapsed to the floor, crying, frantically pulling at her hair, slapping herself, begging Rocky to forgive her and not to release the recording. Rocky remained unmoved. He said he hoped she would clarify things herself, detailing everything clearly to clear Haley's name. Otherwise, he would upload the recording and sue her for spreading rumors. If that happened, Serena wouldn't just face social death, she would also carry a stain on her reputation. Serena begged him for a long time, but Rocky stayed resolute. She could only get up, dejectedly agreeing to his terms. Before leaving, she glared at us furiously. Haley, I did well, didn't I? After she left, Rocky looked at me with a weary expression. I only have you as my family now. Please, don't leave me. I mimicked Serena's posture and lowered my head. I neither agreed nor refused. To prevent her life from being tarnished, Serena voluntarily clarified the situation. As soon as the new post was published, it was immediately targeted by enraged netizens. Even the fish in her pond distanced themselves from her to protect themselves. In no time, the people who criticized me vanished, replaced by various messages of comfort. I didn't look at any of it. I just posted a brief account of the story between the three of us, and at the end, warned everyone that the online sentiment can change quickly, and that online violence is terrifying enough to ruin a person. I also changed my phone number. Of course, I still took Serena to court, along with those extremists who had vandalized my parents' home and dumped trash there. The internet is not a lawless place. Everyone must pay for their actions. Serena's life was essentially over. At least she could no longer stay in this city. She had no education, no skills, and with her social reputation ruined, no company would want her. However, something unexpected happened before I broke up with Rocky. Serena went mad. That day she frantically brandished a knife, intending to attack me. Instead, she struck Rocky, who was in front of me. This time, she was sent to jail for good. Rocky became a vegetative state. Is this what they mean by loving and killing each other? After some consideration, I hired a caregiver for him and informed his family, then I left it at that. However, one thing troubled me greatly. Rocky's spirit still lingered around me. Pretending not to see him was really hard because he would occasionally appear beside me, making me jump, but maybe it was for the best. He watched me bid farewell to his bed, telling him that since seeing those things, I no longer loved him, and that loving him was something I could also pretend to do. Year after year, Rocky never woke up, and he continued to follow me, witnessing how happy I was without him. He saw me advance in my career. He saw me surrounded by a series of high-quality men. He saw a tall and handsome man pursue me. He begged me not to accept him. He said he didn't blame me for giving him up, but couldn't bear to see me with someone else. He said he had never realized how exceptional I was, and all the good I had done for him was taken for granted. He asked if I could stop tormenting him, but it was useless. That man treated me well, and my wounded heart began to flutter again. I agreed to him. At the moment I said yes, I saw Rocky's spirit standing still, looking at me for a long time. Then, he showed a bitter smile. He said, "Since this is your choice, Haley, I wish you happiness. I hope you find happiness and never meet someone like me again. Unfortunately, I can't protect you anymore." With that, he vanished. I never saw him again. Later on, while traveling with my husband, I ran into Peter, a junior from school. Peter was now in a relationship and had long left his careless days behind. He told me that Rocky had passed away. The day Rocky died was exactly the day I agreed to my husband's confession. My husband asked me who Rocky was. I thought for a moment and said, "A friend."